Hey, welcome back to the Car Doctor Studios. I'm Tim. I appreciate you stopping by. Hey, just a quick video. Sorry I've been gone for a while. I spent 6 weeks down commercial fishing at our other business. And just getting back, just got back yesterday and back in the shop at least. And a little bit overwhelmed with all the stuff that's here, but we're gonna get on top of it. This one here is a rear diff, had a bad pinion bearing. See if you can see that there. Pinion bearing, the inner pinion bearing began failing and it pumped a bunch of metal through the diff, so I'm doing all the bearings and seals, and looks like the gov lock limit slip differential is going to be okay. Clean things up there, getting ready to slam this thing back together. But most of all, I just wanted to do a quick video and say thanks for hanging in there. Looking forward to a few new videos here, and actually got another one in the shop here that I think is going to make a good vid, so I'm going to get on that here later this afternoon and get some fresh vids out. Getting ready to throw the carrier back in this thing. Just some quick tips. If you're going to reuse the carrier and your ring and pinion, as long as you get your pinion depth right, you can just reuse the shims where they were located originally, and it's usually 99% of the time going to be set up good. You always want to check your gear lash and make sure it is set up good, but at least on these models, haven't had so much of an issue. So make sure that your carrier side bearings, the little shims that go on the carrier retainer, you keep them indexed on the proper side. You don't want to get them plugged in on the wrong side. These are thickness shims, and as long as you keep things, when you take it apart, keep them on the right side, you shouldn't have an issue putting them back together and having your gear lash correct. So anyway, got my pinion in. I've adjusted the preload on it, so I'm going to slam this differential in. I couldn't get the spare tire down, so I just let the air out of it enough so I could pull the carrier in and out. It's kind of a backwoods deal, but I'm not going to mess with the rusted up tire hoist. Just spend 3 hours to do something. I don't do these often enough that I forget what a pain in the butt they are. Crazy. But we got her in. We'll just snug it down a little bit here. Sure it's free, and that feels good. And Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and install my new wheel bearings and seals. Slam these axles in, and then I'm going to check the pinion depth. Okay, now I'm going to torque these rear carrier straps, and then I'm going to check my pinion ring gear mesh, my gear depth. Make sure everything's cool there. Then I can slam my replacement wheel bearings in and seals and get these axles in and get this thing back on the road. Just get an even thin coating across the surface of the leading edge and the trailing edge of the ring gear for a good section of the ring gear. And now we'll just run that through the pinion. We'll go one direction here, and then we'll go back. So I'm looking for proper depth of the lash and an even distribution across the gear face, which is what I see. I see a really good depth into the gear, and I see a good pattern across the gear. It's not at an angle. It's even across the face and the back side. So I think we're okay there. I'm going to go ahead and put my axles in and get this thing buttoned up. I use quality national bearings and seals whenever possible. This one came in a kit, at least for the differential bearings, and then I had to get wheel bearings and seals. I use a bearing driver to drive the bearing in. And then I've got this adapter for my driver specifically for these seals that goes in here. And that's a handy feature because it keeps that spring from popping off the inside as you're pounding it in. You could just use a regular flat one like that, but this one will actually keep that, retain that spring in there. That pops on that tool. Like that. Go ahead and put some lube on the axle. Just down on the sealing surface of this machined axle face. Make sure I don't damage the seal on installation. And there we go. Now I just got to put my pin in the axle retainers, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the cover on and use some RTV. One note, these are supposed to take a special fluid. They're non-synthetic fluid. If you're using RTV silicone in the differential at any part, it's supposed to have this non-synthetic fluid in it. Anyway, I'm just reinstalling the 8090 gear lube, GL5 rated, in this application. And then I'll just take it for a good long test drive and make sure it sounds good, and we'll get this back to the customer. All right, well, hey, thanks for stopping by. I look forward to making some more vids here soon. Thanks for hanging in there with the Car Doctor channel. We really appreciate it, and I hope you have a good one, and good luck with your repairs. All right, take care.